We are live. Hello, good evening, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 17th vvvv Worldwide Meetup, and we are doing this every month. The tradition is every last Tuesday of the month. We often don't have any lineup, so there is no like a curation, like official curation. We always ask if people have something to show or if they are interested to participate and share their work in an open call, and then people could join. In fact, if you want to share your work, you can actually just join the Zoom call. That actually I'm going to drop the link onto the forum. You can just follow that Zoom call. Do not forget to put your vvv plus your name, your vvv name, or like your nickname and your name, so we know who you are, or we know we are friends and we can let you in the call. And you're more than welcome to share your screen, to share your work and tell us what are you going to do, what are you doing in general, like what are your funny moments of failures, what are your glorious moments of success, and all of those things. So at the moment right now, I have a few people already in the Zoom call. And I use the chance, I asked them one by one to say a few words, that who they are and what are they doing, pretty short. And in the background, I will just put the link to the Zoom call on the forum and also on our Element chat, and vvv chat on Element. So if you're interested, you can join, or we can just like watch the live stream on YouTube. Cool. I would like to ask Ari, you may also know him as Lazal. I would like to know who you are and what are you doing and what are you going to show very quick.
I'm going to show some stuff related to Kinect 2 and Fuse. And also I'm going to show some stuff what I was doing the last December. A little dance performance with a choreographer from Berlin. And that's all because I have to work after that.
Fantastic. Okay. Looking forward to see that. I saw that you dropped me a few links. I think they are related to the work. Okay, good. I'll make sure that I will post them on YouTube as well, on the YouTube comments as well. Okay, good. Fantastic. Good to have you here. Boris, if you have your camera focused properly.
Yeah, looks like it.
Good evening. Who are you? What are you doing? And let us know a little about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Boris Vitazek. I've been using FearFile for, it's coming to 12 years, I think, this year. I've been using it a little bit less last 2 years. It might be also because the pandemic hit and there is not so much live work. But I use lots of Blender and stuff like that. But for past 2 years, I met up some projects that I will show today. And some of you might also know me as the organizer of the second meetup link of vvvv.
It's true. That was really nice, actually.
Yeah, I miss it.
Good old memories. Cool. It's really nice to have you here. I'm gonna move on and ask Sebastian Knowledge, who is presenting Quadrature and himself, actually. Let us know about yourself a little. Sebo.
Yeah, hi. Well, I mean, usually I work with Juliana. Unfortunately, I can only be here alone today. I will talk about us working with our radio telescope and trying to get data from a radio telescope into V4 and then filtering that with AI. It's been a very, very long project that finally came to an end last year. And my first experiences in actually using Gamma in a serious project. Yeah.
Cool. Interesting. Looking forward. Should I give a spoiler or no? Okay, I don't give a spoiler. Which is, by the way, I just gave him a spoiler. Anyways, there is a spoiler. I'm not going to reveal that. I'm going to ask Sebastian, a very well-known figure on the forum. and in general. It's good to have you here, man.
Yeah,
are you going to
pleasure
share
to be
something?
there.
Yeah, are you going to share something?
Yeah, I'm gonna show a plugin I'm working on these days that helps when working with web APIs.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, so and I just received a message from Ari that says Sebas is going to show Sebas goodies. Cool. Fantastic. Looking forward for that. To that. Then maybe just I'm still wrestling, by the way, on the vvv blog to just drop the Zoom call, the link to the Zoom call on the blog. It's going to be quickly done. But in the meantime, I would ask Lazal, Ari, would you please go ahead and show us the magic? And do not try to make it quick, because you said that you want to make it quick. It's okay. We can manage with the time.
Okay.
Let us enjoy.
I'm going to share my screen.
Yes, please.
Show you a little video. I think you can share also the links, because I don't know how it's going to be the
Will do.
playback. Do you see something? Is it fluid?
Yeah, I can see it personally.
Yeah, I could call it a 20 frames.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I see it all right.
And do you hear me in the meantime?
Voice, yes. Yeah.
So that was a performance that we streamed the last December. So we were doing rehearsals like the whole November in Berlin in Doc L. And that was pretty much, yeah, some parts of a performance, because it was like 1 hour long. We mix also live camera videos, other kind of graphics, but this part was what I made. Also made in Gamma with Kinect and with the Fuse library, with some custom nodes that I built with the help of Nathan, and some fluid simulations, and yeah, typical stuff that you can imagine.
Do we need to do? Should we hear also the? I hear a voice there, like a sort of a music, right? Should we hear that too, or it's not part of it?
There is music.
Yeah, maybe it's too. Maybe we can make it a bit louder, possibly.
Can be louder. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
The loudest.
Is it the loudest? Okay. Okay. Right.
I don't know if it goes through the microphone. I don't know. Whatever. But we are here to talk about graphics, not about music.
So what we are seeing is actually captured from the output of your, I guess, a stride, right?
That was actually recorded with Blackmagic, but I mean, it doesn't matter. So, and for this performance, I prepared a set of tools. That was the thing I was talking about before. And I would like to show you pretty much. Actually, this is going to be a contribution. It's already in the forum. So, and I implement a kind of optical flow 3D for the Kinect, and some mesh visualization for the Kinect. And also we can show the okay. as a mesh or as a point cloud. And the colorful artifacts you see is the fluid simulation that you can use for drive your particles in Fuse. So that's pretty much all. I added also some goodies to the Fuse utilities library. For example, how to import a PLY into GPU, and also with the colors and this kind of quite useful things. Yeah, that's pretty much all, guys.
Cool. So, okay, so I think that there are going to be a lot of questions. So if I'm not mistaken, you're taking the Kinect data, like the point cloud, and also I see your skeleton as well. And also, of course, you are getting the RGB image to map each pixel color to your point cloud, right? And so you use the skeleton data to create this Floyd 3D.
No,
and then
this is not the skeleton based. This is based on the old optical flow that we have already in beta. And this is completely texture based.
I see. Okay.
Actually, it has some improvements from the old version, because the old version was calculating the optical flow 2D using the RGB camera and the depth using the depth camera, and it wasn't in sync. So I'm using other method. Actually, I wrote. I didn't write that. I didn't write that. So I just copy the old method, and I add some implementations. Actually, it's considering also the depth in order to, for example, the objects far away reacts much harder to the optical flow.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really well done in the old one. So I'm not telling that this one is better or not, but it works for me. And it's not so shaky than the beta one. Yeah. And the rest was just the Kinect mesh was pretty much straightforward with the Fuse nodes. And the skeleton draw is pretty basic. So yes, you want to. And that's all. So you can share the contribution if you want.
I just did. I just dropped the contribution links on the YouTube chat, and of course, I think I will also copy paste them on the Element chat as well. So that is fantastic. First, thank you for the thank you for the real-time demo of the whole application. You're running it here. But so in the actual setup that because it was a dance performance, or it was just a recording.
No, it was in real time. So we did like 3 rounds. It was like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and every round was different.
Okay.
I mean, it was done in real time. So
yeah, of course, definitely.
It wasn't a video.
Yeah. So also on the stage during the performance, we were using basically one Kinect.
We were using 2 Kinects. Because there were other designer involved, and he was mostly using the skeleton to create other kind of graphics. Should I stop to share the screen? Or?
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
So
yeah. And then you were receiving the data of the both Kinects in the end in one, or it was two separate.
Was receiving different data, so each one connected to one Kinect, and then we mixed the video signals with a switcher, video switcher.
Nice.
And we had other computer for the streaming, so I was taking care of the mixer, this stuff. Also, I implemented a kind of preset engine I could recall with a MIDI controller. So let's go to this queue, over queues. So
that is fantastic. So am I understanding correct that if I have a Kinect right now, I can, if I have a Kinect 2 right now, I can actually run the same patch on my machine and Kinect see the same result?
The latest Fuse nugget, and also the Kinect library.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. That was amazing. Is there any other question? Is there any questions from the
yeah, I
internet?
guess I have few. Well, so first of all, are we still all using Kinects, or is it like dying technology that nobody like? We have the few last things that work, and then
Are we
they're
still
gonna be good.
using guitars? Are we still using cards?
Yeah, no, I'm just curious, because I have Kinect also, but I was curious if you have experience also with some other camera that's coming out like right now.
I mean, it would be super straightforward to implement that for other kind of 3D sensor.
Just depth image.
Those are the basics, and they are pretty modular. You can change it.
Yeah, cool. And have you done some stress testing also with this contribution, like how much you can put of the 3D image into the buffer and stuff like that?
Not really. I implement the nodes, the model to buffer nodes and these kind of things. But at the end, I didn't use them in the performance. So it was like I didn't test them. I know they work and the colors are right map, but I didn't test anything over that. But I don't know. So it's just buffers.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
The buffers. Yeah.
Cool. Fantastic. Nice. I see that Johannes is saying nice stuff, Ari, and also Randall is commenting. He says beautiful, and
Actually,
Sebastian is also sending a black heart, whatever.
Thanks to Randall as well, because he was I was pushing him to implement the warm up in the Kinect library.
I think I remember there was this chat on the chat. There was this topic there.
Elias was debugging some parts. Yeah. So many people involved. That's all. This is the
fantastic. That is
community.
great. Cool. Thank you very much, Ari. As always, amazing stuff. Beautiful. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to see more, and I wish I could see the performance. I hope you're performing again.
I don't know with this piece, but you can watch the video online. This one. Because
good.
The whole performance is not uploaded. There is only this material online right now.
Yeah, but I think if you follow the links, as also said on your, I see your website as well there in the link. Yeah, we will find the source.
Coolio. Thank you
Fantastic.
So much for the invitation.
Gracias.
Have
Thank
fun.
you. Yeah, man. Thank you. See you around. Thank you very much. Cool. God, that was good stuff. In the meantime, if I'm not mistaken, that's Hayden. Is that you, Hayden? I don't see somebody else join the chat. I would like to identify that person. Yes, thumbs up. That's Hayden. Are you going to show something? Or you're setting up your microphone and stuff? Or okay, just find out how things are going to work. I would be interested if you're planning to show something. Cool. I would like to have a maybe just swift change of let's say topic, and maybe asking Sebastian to show what is he up to. I mean, he's up to a lot of things, and and he shows us once in a while some of them. Oh, by the way, if I may use the chance to say, he's, I think, my favorite tool of him is basically the Gamma launcher has a new update. Now you can also uninstall the previous versions, and also the list gets updated. I think it's very cool. And I use it like I think every second. It's just on a startup. Then I turn on my computer.
To Randall.
Thank you very much for
actually, thanks to Randall for pushing me on doing that, because he asked me like a few weeks ago, and that I decided it should be the time to do it.
Yeah. Seems like everything ends up with Randall. I don't know where is he, by the way. It's been three meetups that I haven't seen him. You owe us something, Randall. You should come and show your face at some point. Cool. Seb, the stage is yours. Please show us what are you up to.
Thank you. So let me try to share my screen. Share screen. Okay, great. So yeah, this tool I'm developing, it's a V4 plugin, and it's meant for people who work with web APIs. So let's get started. Can I get rid of this Zoom overlay here, or am I forced to keep it?
I think we can put it somewhere else.
Yeah, but it, yeah, okay.
Same
Whatever.
thing.
Yeah, so the idea is that lately for projects, I've been working a lot with REST APIs, and yeah, I was looking for a way to make things even easier when working with those API. And I've been using this tool that you might know. It's called Postman, and basically it's a tool, an online tool that allows you to test APIs and to like organize queries to various APIs in collections and document them. And we're going to see in a minute how it works, but it's really useful when you work with multiple developers and you want to have like a knowledge base and a easy way to test API queries, see how they react. And it's usually a good idea to test all those things in Postman, see how the API reacts. So you can test error messages and things like that. And then when you are confident with the API and you're sure that it works, you can move to V4 to implement the API. So for our tests today, we're going to use this thing, which is called dummy APIs. And it's actually just a bunch of REST endpoints API that just spits some random data. And we can see, for instance, we have an employee API that just, when you make a query to this URL, you would get in JSON format a list of employees. So those are all random stuff, but let's see how it works in Postman. So I can copy the query URL, create a new, create a new collection here. Let me just rename it dummy API. And in there I would create, can I do this? Add folder, rename it. And we are testing this employee endpoint over here. So I'm creating here add request that I call get employees. Just put the URL here. Oops. And basically now if I run the query, I get some JSON data, okay? And the cool thing in Postman is that you can really document stuff. So you could say, add some notes about this query that you just added to your collection. You say like returns a list, of employees. I had this very irritating overlay here, and I can also document the URL parameters. So number of record, let's add something stupid like set the number of records, doesn't have to be accurate for our test, start ID, whatever. So basically you get the idea. This is how Postman is working. You can create all those queries. We're going to add a few more and yeah, test them, see the response, everything. So I'm just going to create a few other endpoints here. The one with image is interesting. It's like a REST query that returns an image. So we could as well create a new folder, call this image. And there I add a new request, call it get image, put this here. And you see that if I run the query here, I get an image. So this is what the API does. And just one last product, whatever it is. Blah, 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 copy this, move to Postman, create a new folder. Then we're going to move to V4, promised. Product, create a new request, get products, stuff the URL here. We test it, okay, the API works, we get some JSON data, it's cool. The thing is actually, once you have done this, the next step is to move to V4 and actually patch all those HTTP GET queries in V4. And to me, it feels like the boring part, because you've already done the job once in Postman. So why bothering doing it again in V4 with taking the risk of messing things up and making a typo, whatever. And yeah, also it's a good way to have a shared knowledge of an API, because then you get this Postman, which is the last state of the API. Well, it turns out that Postman, it has this option that allows you to export a workspace, well, a collection. And if you do this, you can have this dummy API collection in a JSON format. And once we move to v4, if we save our patch, so we can call it Postman. We can save that, open the folder. If we create a Postman folder next, Postman folder next to the patch, then we get the JSON file. I think it's, yeah, this one. Oops, where is it? Postman. Okay, so now I have my patch here, my Postman patch with a Postman folder next to it, which contains my API collection dump, so to say. Now, if I enable the VL nugget called vl.postman, which is not released yet, and I go to the Node browser, I get this dummy API category that was automatically generated by a Node factory. And in there, I get all the 3 categories that you saw me creating on Postman earlier. And obviously, if I get there, I get a new node called get employees that also retrieves the description that I wrote in Postman. And for some reason, it didn't get the pin description, apparently, but it should have. Oh, maybe because it wasn't saved, sorry. Yeah, but the idea is that it would also retrieve this description, and it turns all these URL parameters as input pins. And just to show that it works, I'm using under the hood a library called REST Sharp. So if I now reference this thing, blah, 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 where is it? REST Sharp. So I REST response. If I want just to get the content of the response, now I can make a bang here, and it just works. You get instantly get the response. So it means that you can at any time take a JSON dump of your Postman collection, just put it on your hard drive, and you get automatically a set of nodes. And if we try the get image one, okay, something screwed up for some reason. Did I save correctly? But you get the idea. I mean, is that for each query that you create here in your Postman workspace, you would get a node that already wraps the query done for you, so you don't have to patch it. And that's it.
That is amazing. So I mean, of course, like, so if I get it correct, so you for each query basically create a folder in the Postman to structure it correct with the name of that query, right?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, each folder of the query becomes a node thanks to the node factory.
It becomes a category. A folder becomes a category. And for each, well, maybe I should reshare my screen briefly. Share screen. Boom. Yeah. So when you create, you don't have to create folders, actually. It's just for convenience to organize things. But the thing is that it parses the JSON dump, and for each folder that it encounters, it creates a new category. And you can have nested folders. It will just append the category names one after the other. And when it encounters a query, such as get employees here, the factory would generate a node. But I'm just curious why it didn't work with the image, because it was working this afternoon. But yeah, that's the idea, is that once you have something working in Postman, you should have it already done in it's already done in v4, because you just have to export this JSON dump, put it there, and get the queries.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It eases the pain of going through all the like all these JSON files and extracting your own.
And you could patch those queries with HTTP GET nodes, but I mean, since we already have everything declared in a convenient JSON format in Postman, why bothering doing it?
Exactly.
It's not finished yet, because for now you cannot supply like a body to the query. You cannot. There are lots of things missing, but I'm hoping to release this soon. I don't know when.
Yeah, wow, that is fantastic. I mean, I'm sure whoever works with this huge amount of data, they would understand how the luxurious of this tool. And it's not released yet. You said it's not even a preview.
What? Oh no, it's not released yet, because it's still a bit rough.
Okay.
So to say. But I'm hoping to release that soon.
Looking forward, like eyes locked on you to see as soon as it's there. Don't feel stressed, but we are counting seconds. Cool. Thank you very much. That is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
And did you use it yourself or only for test
Not yet.
purposes?
Not yet. But yeah, soon.
That is
try.
cool. That is cool. Hayden says it is sick and is very useful.
Oh, glad you
I
like
suppose
it.
you could possibly generate types from the JSON.
You mean instantiate like records to deserialize the data?
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could, because I believe that the JSON dump also has the query result. If you save the query result as an example in Postman, theoretically you could do that, and that would be really interesting. Like you get, but I'm not sure if with a factory you can generate classes that are available in the Node browser. I've never tried this, but yeah, that would be the next step once this works.
Cool.
Thanks for that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Any question from the internet somewhere? I guess the question will come to you. The question will find you.
Maybe.
and different places.
You need to speak to Elias.
Let me know. Cool. Fantastic. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Seb. It was really nice as always. Yes. You stay with us, right? Good. Fantastic. Beautiful. Cool. If there's no if you have a question, okay. So I see that Hayden wrote in brackets, we need to speak to Elias. I think yes. Elias, if you're watching us right now, be aware that there will be some inquiries to your direction. Cool. If there is no any question at the moment, it's okay. You can also keep your questions for later whenever they come to your mind. Drop them somewhere, and as soon as I see them, I can pass the message to the right people. But I would like to ask the next person in the list, Sebastian Knowledge, to show us what they have been up to.
Yeah, hi. Well, thank you for having us. And it's really a pity that we can not make it more often to this meetups, which I really, really miss. I would love to be in here more. I mean, I've been working with vvvv since 2013, I think, or something like this. Oh no, that's not true. 2008 or something. Yeah. But recently I haven't really done that much of core development. But now I'm just gonna start trying to share things that I collected. Let me see what I can find. So unfortunately, sharing a video for me didn't really work very well. So I'm gonna just start showing you images, which is really a pity because I actually tried to get a woman into here and tried to have Yule talking a little bit. We started about, where can I, here, this is maybe good. We started about, do you see my screen?
A pink mouse cursor.
I have a pink mouse cursor, yeah. But is that a problem?
But nothing else. No, but there's nothing else. It's just.
And nothing else. You only see a pink mouse cursor. Okay,
yeah.
Let me try again.
Oh yeah, I saw the background, so I don't know. I like the web page and everything.
Yeah, it was working fine for me as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm out. Then maybe it was my problem.
You should see like a website.
Do you guys see a website?
Yeah,
it's still loading for me.
Yeah, it's still loading.
Oh,
now
now we can see it.
Yay!
Ah, it's still loading. Okay. Well, I mean, here you see a very small. You see a telescope there. So we had this. It was very weird. Some people in South Germany paid us money to build a radio telescope and kind of do an ironic search for extraterrestrial intelligences. So this whole project started like 3 years ago, and it got quite serious. So we then had performances in churches, for example. And this is, I'm not sure if I'm sharing the audio now. We'll see. So basically what we did, is we had a, oh, this is really bad. Something is fucked up with my internet. Wait, let me try to stop sharing this. Let me get organized here. This would be really nice just to show you some things. Way too many windows open. Share sound. So, how is this working?
Oh, still loading for me.
Loading still.
It's loading.
Oh yeah, now I see the VLC.
Yeah, I can see it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this. So usually what we did is we had a telescope in front of a church very often. Like it was kind of a comment to the interface of the former interfaces to the sky. And this is how the data input basically looks like. If you can see this image, it's a kind of typical waterfall image, which is, I mean, you know, radio waves are basically just light. We can't really perceive it. So it needs to be transcribed to something that we can see or hear as humans. And this is then just sent via audio to vvvv, and vvvv is basically sampling it down to the to an organ, to the keyboard of an organ, kind of just mapping it down, the raw data, kind of like really downsampling basically. And then we started playing this on an organ, and Yule, my partner, basically was trying to find interesting peaks and signals within this noise, which is, by the way, usually, of course, just human noise that you get. So I mean, this is what happens when you, we tried to build a proper radio telescope, but it's just a giant feedback loop in the end, what we built, because you just hear yourself. And which is really fun, of course, and to play with an organ. We had this machine on the organ. Let me try to, it looks like this. I don't know if you can see this now. I don't know how long the video is loading. So it's a machine that sits on top of the keyboard, and you have these, you can do like a lot of different settings. It's, for me, like I had no idea how to work with an instrument like this. So it was quite interesting. And of course you get this, for human beings, unplayable noise stuff. And then the next thing we did is we tried to harmonize this with different machine learning algorithms. Would be nice to have Christian, who so I work with Christian Loser. Some of you might know him, and he basically did all this audio part. And for this performance, what we did is we had different algorithms. One was just this standard Piano Genie model trained on Yamaha piano competition. And this is I think it's a Google sponsored event. And basically what happens is you have a lot of young, very well playing piano people playing like pop classics, like really the well-known Mozart, Chopin, etc. And then what we do is we just give this noise to that algorithm, and it just tries to harmonize it and make a Mozart out of it or whatever. And this worked surprisingly well. I'm not sure how good you can hear the sound.
Make it a little louder on your VLC, perhaps.
There we go. I mean, what we were able to do is we have like a temperature slider, so we can make it slower, louder, etc. live on stage. Otherwise, of course, it's quite random what's happening. And then in this scenario, what we did is we used I think it was Bach Choräle, which was fitting the church very well. And I think the most success music-wise for us was that we had, you have these phone apps, also machine learning phone apps that recognize song titles, etc. And this was actually recognizing Bach in this scenario. So this is, I think that was the greatest success, like an AI recognizing the other AI. And the graphics you saw here, this was the older, I think the second particle version pack with vvvv beta that we used here for the graphics. So maybe I'm gonna try to find something else. I have to improvise a bit because my original plan for some is not working at all. So we were not, the thing is, this was kind of nice and fun. I mean, the thing is, if you work with MIDI, it's much easier to also do and work with machine learning and creating music. I mean, generally, a big problem also is here to generate this in real time. This is the biggest challenge, of course. But the next step that we tried to do was doing this with, I don't have a video of this, was doing this with voice, actually. So with raw audio, which is a very, very different approach. I don't really want to talk too much about the machine learning part because it's also completely not done in vvvv. But maybe to also show what we did with it, which I personally liked a lot. Not sure if this is, this is not working somehow.
Could I at the same time ask some questions? Or like to just like maybe just leaving some comments to clarify it for myself and also maybe the others as well. So you have this, what we saw, it was basically inside that church that in the beginning we saw the picture. So the telescope was at the door outside, and then you're sitting inside the church with this screen on top of you. And I think it was Yule and Christian sitting at the computers, right? So the data that we saw, the waterfall, the blue one, was the data that you were receiving from the telescope on your machine. And Yule was looking through these diagrams and looking for interesting data, as you call it.
Yeah.
Right. And then you send that one. Send that one to V4, resample it, and then the organ is like you send the data at the same time to the organ with this weird thingy on top of it.
Well, we sent the data to Ableton Live or MaxMSP, which was then either playing it directly in RAW.
Yeah.
But V4 actually did this downsampling because for some reason that was patched quicker in vvvv. Mm-hmm. And then the old like playing the AI stuff that was all done in MaxMSP, and then MaxMSP sent that to actually another MIDI computer that then had to do some stuff and then was next to the organ and played that.
And in the end, it was you were sending MIDI data to that device that was mounted on the organ.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But and also the visuals, also basically you send the same thing, the same data to the organ, also perhaps to another computer that runs the visuals, a V4 computer running.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So the visuals are also not just the raw data from the telescope, but also the processed.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
And then we had a multi-channel, like 8-channel surround system in the church that was also playing the noise of the telescope.
Yeah, I think maybe at some point I will ask you to, maybe later for future, to draw this. Like I want to know how many computers you had and what was talking to what and all of that stuff.
Oh shit, I have this somewhere, but I don't know if I can find this one.
No, it's okay. You don't need to stress. I just wanted to clarify this. And I think that the reason I got it because I was there. So I somehow know how it was structured. Okay, are you going to show us another video?
Because I'm trying. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's like
No, don't worry.
really
In his defense, in Sebo's defense, I need to say shortly before we go live, he was showing that what he has and we were doing some tests, and he had this video that he wants to show us. It's a video on YouTube, and I told him that it's better to not play something through your web browser because the streaming quality is not that good. So he promised us to drop us the link, but then I ruined his plan by saying that you should not show the video because it's going to be laggy and it's going to take some time and stuff. So I think some part of this is me to blame me for that.
I very happily take all the blame there is to take. Yeah, sorry, I'm not very. The problem right now is that my VLC just died and can't open again. I can try to open this with another. I don't know what I have on here. The problem is I'm to my defense, I'm in quarantine since 4 weeks, and my whole life with family and everything.
Okay. Well, you cannot blame VLC for that. That's non-taken. Okay, no, but what I have a question. So
yeah, I have something that might work. Yes, okay. Go for it. No,
this time the image that we see on the for this 17th meetup is basically the picture of a telescope and some stuff behind that. And I took this picture from you, and that is same performance but in another setup.
Yeah, this is the latest performance for which we were actually using. I should be able to show you videos of this. Like, I can't show anything in the browser. Like, the whole thing was set up in the browser to show because I don't have stuff on my hard drive. Like, it's a basic principle. I don't have.
Maybe you can show us like image. Don't play the video. Just show us images and talk on top of them, if that would work for you.
Yeah, let me. Yeah. So. Yes. So what we did in what I did then, or well, the first time I actually.
I don't see your screen, by the way. Are we supposed to see your screen?
Not yet.
Okay, good. Okay.
Sorry, I'm really. Shit. Okay, do you see this?
Loading. Yes, fantastic.
Okay. So yeah, this is actually. So what you see here is the updated version of the radio telescope, which is now fully motorized and has like a 360-degree angle, which was built by Sebastian Knowledge, a crazy guy who used to live on the Teufelsberg, but he's being kicked out now. If anybody of you knows what the Teufelsberg is in Berlin, that's kind of a fantastic place for radio telescope. And he built this telescope for us. And this piano is a Yamaha piano that the ZKM has in Karlsruhe, and this is at the ZKM, a performance. Amir should post the link of this opening performance. I also posted a link of this, so you can have a look at it. And the graphics is the first time that I actually used. Used gamma, and this is Fuse basically running. And I have to say I was really very, very scared of working with gamma because there's a lot of stuff that I don't understand, and then it's like the problem is when gamma came out, my life changed so dramatically that I hardly sit in front of the computer anymore, but I still want to program, but I didn't really have the time to learn. And I have to say the experience was very beautiful. Like, it worked really, really nicely. Until today, I don't really understand how to do a subpatch in Gamma. Like this whole library and setting that up and how things are connected. Like it just doesn't function in my not so nerdy head, maybe. But in the end, this worked really nice and it was very complex. And this is like quite a few million particles that are doing their jobs quite well. I mean, here it's quite over-exaggerated. And actually the sound that you hear here so this is our voices that we recorded, and the machine learning algorithm, this is from a PhD guy in Italy, unfortunately I forgot his name, we worked with. It's trying to find these patterns of our trained noises within this noise that comes out from the telescope, and it's super creepy. I mean, this is not a very good video, but if you see it live, and it's just very, very creepy, because when it goes from this noise and it slowly comes to this whispering voices coming in, it's quite weird.
By the way, I send the links on YouTube chat if you want to.
Yeah, there's one video where especially Jule and Christian explain very, very well what's actually happening. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I can probably show you the patch. If I'm able to do that, I could also show you a lot of other videos if that would work. I'd love to have these meetups in real time with a real projector and just show this stuff.
Hopefully you can also bring your telescope then, maybe.
Yeah, that's
I
will have to make the telescope is actually on the on a mountain outside of Berlin right now, one of the few mountains, Kolberg, and it would be nice to do a performance there.
Cool. Nice.
So I'm trying to get into the. Am I talking too long?
No, it's good. I need to have an eye on the time, but you're good. We still have time. Maybe in the meantime, while you're finding the patches that you're going to show, I would like to ask if anybody has any question that you would like to ask Sebo in regard to this, whatever we saw so far.
So I found the patch actually.
Okay, great.
So do you see this?
Not yet. Yeah, now yes. Great.
So on another computer that you don't see right now, I have a Ableton Live thing running, and that is basically sending just basic UDP and also raw audio via sound card. Usually we use Dante or something like audio via network setups for this to the graphic PC. And yeah, you can see that this is my Gamma patch, which is just a big thing because I don't know how to do subpatches. Or at least it took me like 10 minutes to make a subpatch, and then I decided to just not use that. And it's running fine. So for me, it was okay. And since you have the zoom in and zoom out function now, it's actually, I can actually work with that. And so here, because I still had this from the start of the project, I mean, this started like 3 to 4 years ago. So I'm reading the MIDI and I'm reading the audio in beta. And because I'm always so much on the clock, like I really need to develop. I have like 4 hours a day, and then I need to finish this. And then I have like my child, and I have other responsibilities or whatever. So I hardly have the time to really try to make things that work in a new environment. This is this is a big topic for me. So this is why very often I do stuff still in beta because it exists. And since I figured out how to send it from that to that, I'm just then doing it there. And that's it. I don't think about it. I mean, this is one basic thing that I learned, that I don't care about the beauty of the programming. I just care about the output that the audience see. Like, I have a very strong opinion about this now. Yeah, and so here, what's happening is very simple. I have, it's really for all of you, it should be like super basic, and I probably did a lot of stuff wrong. So here the data is coming in. And then I do some, how do I call this? Color stuff. So color buffering things. And I do a lot of switching because I have a lot of different modes depending on where I am. It's a 20-minute performance. So I can also jump to a different part here, actually. So I just have to click on a different part in the Ableton timeline. And this is not a nice part, though. Look at this. And then I have position buffers, etc. And I just send that to the particle system. And there's a lot of different settings for the particles that I change depending on what's happening, or if the audio is going stronger, then I have some integrate nodes or whatever that kind of push stuff or make stuff smaller or bigger. And more or less, that's it. This is just the text that's coming in. So it's super, super basic. Very much, I would call it my first user experience. Yeah, I'm not a developer if it comes to Gamma. I'm a user, and I would love to be a user of it. And it's been nice and fun, and I loved it. Like it was, you know, when you have these moments when you don't want to get up, but you really have to pee really strongly, but you're so much into your work. And I had this for like more than a week or something. So I'm very, very happy. Thanks everyone for making this possible, especially the Fuse team. And yeah, that is great. So I see in this patch that you showed, like it's crazy. It's well, very interesting. So I see like all those stuff on top that I guess that you're receiving data, and then you are trying to sort of manage this data back and forth. And in the very end, I saw a probability emitter. I think that's where the Fuse stuff starts, and then you go down and you render them. Also, there was a postfix and so on. So basically, you keep everything in one patch up there, and yeah, with these frames and okay, cool. Yeah, interesting. If I have one question, I want to maybe like finish up in 2 minutes with you. It's amazing. Yeah. I think I would like to keep going for, I don't know, 2 more hours. I think there are a lot of details, and I think the ice just broke. But we need to have an eye on time to just make it quick. I just want to know then how is your experience? How do you feel like patching in Gamma? Like, how does it feel? What are the differences with beta and Gamma? Just asking, because you said you're a user and you want to stay as a user. Maybe. I mean, so far, still, when I'm in beta, I feel home, and in Gamma, I feel like a foreigner. I'm missing my muscle memory. It's just not there. Apart from it, I love the rough simplicity. I mean, here you can see it next to each other. I really love this super rough, outdated graphics of beta. I just like it more than Gamma, I have to say. But I do get the point, and I understand that it makes sense to do things differently. Everything really makes sense if you get into it and understand it. I do have problems with this, at an integer and a float, and then every time you kind of have the feeling you have to think about it. Like, this is something that drives me crazy from a beta user perspective. Yeah, I'm sure that somebody told me why it is the way like it is, but the naive user I am, I forget these things because I just don't care about them. But no, it's been, as I said, it's been really, really fun. It's been really great.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be the way that it should be perceived. Perhaps when you start a project in Gamma, of course, it's always a pain when you have something already existing in beta and then you want to continue that in Gamma, because they are somehow they have a different taste, you know, or however you want to call it. They have a they have their own attitude, if I may say. But that is fantastic. I'm super happy. I wish I could have a screenshot of your patch, like without seeing any node or anything. I just love to see this this interesting thing. It looks like a map from the. I think you're basically, you see this, you know, that they're the symptoms, right? You're taking a lot of pictures from satellites. It looks like a picture from satellite. This patch on the left side. Yeah, I would appreciate to have a screenshot of that. Thank you very much, Sebo. It's been so nice to have you here and to listen. What are you doing? And also, we were thinking of. I was asking Fuse team if they have an update to show for the Fuse this time, because I think it's good to talk about Fuse once in a while. But apparently, as it seems like these days, we don't need to ask Fuse team to talk about Fuse, because the other users, they are picking up and they're using it for installation performances as Quadratura does with their own standards, that like higher standards. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for sharing, and thank you very much for going through these difficulties and improvising a little for us.
But sorry for that. Sorry again for this. I'm
no, that was fantastic. I'm very happy that you were brave to go through that. And I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. If anybody else has any question, that's the time to ask Sebo. Otherwise, if you have a question that you want to ask afterwards, first of all, you know where to find him. Otherwise, I think he will vibe with us for a bit longer until the meetup is over, so you can ask your question later as well. Is there any for now? Internet. I take it as a no for now. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sebo. Stay with us in the background. We talk soon. And the time, I would like to ask Boris to say hi and what are you doing these days? I know you are doing a lot of things. I see some I don't know, cookies here and there, but I want to know more.
Yeah, I'm basically doing at any time what is fun for me mostly. I don't know, like somehow the autumns are still like huge visual festivals, and in between I usually take some state funds or something like that and make a theater, or I don't know, the range is huge as always, and I will essentially try to speedrun like 4 projects that I haven't shown in V4 webpage yet. So you get kind of a taste of a huge range of stuff that I have done for past 2 years, I think. And everything kind of started with my experience with Gamma, like the first project that I've done with Gamma, and then kind of progressed through it. Okay, so I'll try to share my screen. Maybe just my browser and show you a video and kind of pause it. If it won't play the sound or it will be super slow, let me know, but I will just be pausing it and talking about it, like what's what and what have I done. Okay, so can you see the browser?
Yeah, I see the screen.
Cool. So this is a project that I've done not the last summer, but the summer before. Yeah, 2020, and it's called Lush Fields Ready for Harvest. And I was just kind of thinking about this problem that our friend Zach can now amass a huge amount of data from your space, essentially using clues and all of this stuff. And I think it's kind of like new and much more weirder type of data that he can amass, like for Facebook, from kind of physicality of your space, your movements, and almost kind of like build the profiles of your movements and stuff like that. And this was a very small festival in the center of Slovakia, in Žilina. It's called Kiosk Festival, and it's kind of half theater, half dance theater, but I think it was more focused on dance before. No, I think it's kind of mixed. Yeah, so can you hear the sound or not really?
Hello, welcome to our presentation on kiosk.
Yeah, I do hear the sound. The video is not in the
Okay,
back.
so basically the video is, it was like this very small gallery space. You walk in, and I was using Gamma to communicate with Google Voice and kind of like voice some commands to the users. So you enter the installation. It was also the first summer with the pandemic, and they wanted to do installations just for one person. So it was specifically made for one person with Kinect. You come in, and the installation will kind of speak to you and give you commands what to do. So it's easy with the Kinect, of course, and it tracks your head and shifts perspective. So you get this kind of like VR feeling just from standing in the space. And yeah, you start by hitting buttons like unsubscribing from email lists and stuff like that. And then I was just like kind of playing around with body movement, and the installation was kind of all the time moving you around the space and telling you about the corporation and stuff like that. And it was just, it was kind of like a fun thing to do. And I specifically made it for kind of dancers on the festival as well. So it's very like body focused, and you can always see like when the dancer came into the space, they were a lot like playing with the movements. It wasn't so easy to use for people that weren't very like moving with their body and like to do that. Yeah, and
nice. That looks really good. Oh wow.
Yeah, and then in the end it kind of like snaps your, like there is a Zag, and then it asks you to lift your hand, and it will snap your picture. And the name like lush fields ready for harvest was kind of like making this metaphor between people that are using VR and like new fields that are ready for harvest, like basically your data.
Yeah. How did you make the grass?
Yeah, this is beta before particle systems or just like noodles and attractors and stuff there.
Nice. Looking really cool. That was actually the question from Achim, and he's also saying that it's nicely done. That looks great. I think I saw some footages of that work back in.
Yeah, I posted some stuff on the on the chat, but I'm just so terrible with documentation and like making my web page and posting everything. It's just not fun for me, so I don't do that well. Okay, so this was summer 2020. Then 2021, basically first few months, I was just working on a theater piece with my friend. And let me stop sharing this thing and share my desktop, I guess. So I was working on a theater with my friend, and I did the whole theater alone with her. That means that I was doing the music, the lights, shooting the video in the theater. I was working on the dramaturgy, so it's just like 2-person piece. And when we were doing the theater, I basically just sit down with my computer and connect sound, lights, projection, and everything, and kind of play from there. So I reached, of course, for V4 to kind of master everything together. The sound was generated in VCV Rec, which I'm using usually nowadays to generate sound and just communicate through OSC. And it was kind of very like almost movie-like, because there is this huge screen behind her. And the biggest problem of the piece was essentially kind of balancing out the projections with the dancer, because usually these dance performances are using Kinect and stuff like that, and it's very technology heavy. But in this case, I wanted to have like just pure video sometimes, and combining it with like 3D graphics and stuff like that. So I did the whole structure in Gamma, and the video and the visuals were done in beta. And here you can see, like, for example, this was like my experience, like, okay, how can I use gamma to have some like dramaturgy? But like, so for example, the problem of my friend here, of my performer, is that she is not that great with going on cues. She kind of like zones out when she starts dancing, and everything that happens has to kind of happen around her. So I wasn't really timelining. I had only these events as you have in theater, like, okay, now these lights come up, now this music goes down, and combination of them. So I have basically just one button through the whole theater, and I'm watching her and moving the piece like forward as she's dancing. And I had this structure in gamma that I can kind of like have, I have like just basic counter in background, and I have these like fading audios, nodes, and destroying objects, like object this, for example, a video or 3D graphic. And as we were creating the stuff like together in one space, I can just very quickly like patch together a few nodes, and everything goes like from the top to bottom as I'm pushing like the button throughout the theater. And yeah, I have a few of these things basically. And it looks just like this basic structure.
Looks neat.
Yeah, it worked
awesome.
all right. It
especially with the older school background gray. I mean, older school,
it's the old like gamma in
screen friendly, brightness friendly.
Yeah, especially when you are doing a theater, it's really great to be the brightest star in the whole.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. These days you can make it whatever color that you want. I think.
I know. But I didn't get to kind of update it for last year or something, so I'll be looking into
cool.
that.
That looks good. And so I see also a V4, like a beta patch next to it as well. So you were doing some stuff there and sending back and forth?
This was just the structure, and the logic was gamma, because like once you go object oriented, it's very hard to go back to not object oriented, basically. Mm-hmm. So I usually do logic in gamma, and in this case I did the visual in beta. So for example, in the theater you can see there is this check my other documentation. So yeah, for example, there is this huge head that's rigged model, and it's all interconnected. So I'm generating some signals in vcvvv, and I'm sending that to v4, and then that controls also light. So everything is kind of like in sync. And so for example, in here, these 4 lights on the ground were kind of going with the music.
Yeah.
And then later I had like this head, and I was using rigging. So as I posted quite recently on the forum, like my problems with the rigging in gamma and everything. So I had to reach for beta because it was still very easy to do rig in beta. But I think that's the biggest like 3D thing that I did for the whole theater. Otherwise, yeah, you can see also like one small rig here in the corner. But otherwise, it was just video mostly. But yeah, I'm super looking forward when I can do all of this in gamma. Honestly.
Nice. That looks very, very clean, and
yeah, it's
different.
It also has to be snappy, because when you have like lights and audio and video from one computer, it's you can get to disaster very easily. So you can have clicks in audio or anything. But to my surprise, it was pretty like rock solid throughout the whole thing. I think one of the biggest performance hogs were actually the RS, like the node for controlling DMX lights, like the USB COM port communication.
Good to hear that. Everything worked pretty much solid on one machine. Cool.
Okay, so
by the way, Boris, we lost your video image, like your webcam.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, if you're interested to share this.
Maybe my camera ran out of batteries.
Um,
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah, while you set up that thing, like sorting it out, I would like to ask you what happened with your drawing machine.
It's coming. It's coming. It's
Okay.
it will be like the last thing that I show. I will now speed run like one more thing. I think like my batteries come out from the camera, but I can try to switch it. I have a drawing robot to show, but it's like super janky and everything, but I want to kind of share it with the community, like the designs, and maybe work with some people on.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, but you'll see. Don't spoil it, okay? I'm right there. So the first project I want to share is let me share. Yeah, unfortunately I lost the camera. So is this data visualization that was my first project done only with Fuse, and I've did this autumn last year, and is like this combination of climate stripes with this fluid simulation. And it was a very simple thing. I was doing for one visual festival. I really was pushing them to do some climate visualization or something. So I made this, and it's basically parsing data from Berkeley Earth and something else, I'm not sure. And the colors of these stripes are temperatures, and the width of the stripe is the amount of CO2 emitted per year. So it was this very simple thing. It was also sonified, like the made from the temperatures. So even if you just stand there with your eyes closed or something, you can kind of hear the lower tones for the cold temperatures and the higher tones for the higher temperatures. And it's like very simple just to show the data. And it was accompanied with this like explanation of where did I get the data and how it works. And it was super interesting to me because I was just working with pure tables with average temperatures per month and making this whole thing. So it's very nice when you kind of can touch the data and you get these things in the end. And I was trying to show the process also for people like on the festival. Yeah, and then the strength of the vortex is controlled by the amount of CO2 emitted. So you can see it kind of starts this like blue from the temperatures and everything, and very slow. And in the end, it's like very strong emission and very strong vortex, basically.
Yeah, wow. And I recommend you to post the URL, this video on YouTube, also to the chat as well. I think it's worth watching it.
It's even if you watch it as a video from YouTube, it doesn't help that much because like the particle effects and everything, like H264 is not like the biggest friend of these noisy things. So yeah, but yeah,
but I think it's much smoother to just watch it on your own device.
Yeah, it's also definitely 60 FPS on the device, so you can just check it out. But for the purposes of explanation, it was all right. Okay, so definitely. This was the third project, and then the last project is actually my drawing robot. So I don't even know why I decided to do like a drawing plotter on a wall. It's called vplotter also. And I've made it. I've made the hardest to do design that I could have chosen, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Let me just. Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay. So this is the dude. This is how it looks right now. It has like a pen in the middle, two motors, So the first hardest thing is that the motors are not mounted on the wall, like in the corners, but I really wanted to have like just a robot that I will hang on the wall and start and kind of it goes. And I think it's much harder to mount like stepper motors to the walls. So I made this design. And I also wanted to make it like this exercise and kind of like making the whole thing from the ground up. So I also wrote the code for Arduino, and I have the control software made in Gamma, which I can also show. So this is how the dude looks right now. And these are the things that it draws. So these are my those like first test that I tried like on a big ball, and like to generate this this grid of lines. So the input into robots was on the edge. Circles were like very neat and nice grid, and this is so far what did I get. But this was like first thing that I want to try. I already kind of know, like I know the curvature of the drawing is a problem, and there is this very interesting blog from one guy that was dealing with the curvature. So is this plotter math blog. So I was thinking I will try to implement this thing into V4 maybe later, but he is simulating the physics of the robot and how it rotates, which to me seems a bit like over the top. I will maybe try to just transform everything like into opposite direction and try to fix it. I can post you a link. Check it out.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Yeah, and so like just in a Gamma right now, it's like super simple software that will just translate the positions of from Skia or from vector drawing into lengths of the ropes that the robot is hanging from, and then send it through Arduino. Arduino will execute the lengths of the ropes and then sends it's done, and everything goes.
Nice. Actually, maybe you can we can ask Sebo what does he think about it, because I think Sebo has also a long history of building machines and robots as well. Maybe his input is valuable, I'm sure.
Yeah, and so also the first thing how it looked was kind of like this, and later I settled like on.
How heavy is it, by the way? Roughly?
It's under 1 kilo. It's around 1 kilo. It's just like the small steppers are of course the heaviest thing on the robot, and each stepper is able to carry a load of 4 kilos. So it's all right. But it's very slow, and there are some problems like with vibrations and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like for example, I'm using for the rope, I'm using like very thick nylon that you use like for fish.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Also, it's a little bit too flexible, but it works because it doesn't make the wheels much bigger when it goes up and down, which helps me. And nice. Yeah, it's I already have some exhibition plan with it, and once again it will probably draw some climate data in the style of like primitive cave paintings, because I do a lot of stuff with that. Like, so with another plotter I was working on these. This is like 3D model of hand axe from Stone Age, and these are kind of like the themes that I'm interested in, like kind of responsibility of usage of tools. That's kind of the whole theme of it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so this little dude there should in some time start to draw like interesting data.
I'm looking forward to see the full-fledged calibrated drawing machine image working next to this image in future.
Sure. I'm not sure it will happen, but hopefully it will.
Yeah, nice. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing these amazing 4 projects. Wow, that was actually 4 projects that pretty complex and very nice. Looking forward to see more. And I cross my fingers for the drawing machine to work as soon as possible, because it's pretty much interesting as well. Cool. Is there any question for Boris so far, or any comment or any remark? Any tips are all welcome and appreciated. I guess if we don't have anybody, Hayden, are you planning to show something? By the way, I forgot. No. Okay. Good. No. Hayden said climate stripes was mesmeric. If I'm pronouncing it correct.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
cool.
all thanks to the Fuse team, honestly.
Actually, yes. Yeah, Fuse team. You couldn't make it to this session because I know that they are working on a release, if I'm not mistaken, or there are a few things when we were talking. There are a few things coming up from Fuse team as well. And although they were not there, but we were talking about them all the time. And we will looking forward to see them here and letting us know what are they doing. And interesting, amazing. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here. Ari, who had to leave, so he's already gone. Sebaskuri, thank you very much. Very nice. I'm looking forward to see more with the Postman. And I really personally want to look into this Note Factory magic, that these tricks in your sleeves that you are throwing out. Very nice. And also, Sebastian, thank you very, very much for joining us. I know this is not the most convenient time for you, but thank you for taking the effort and showing us what you're doing. It's always impressive and inspiring what you guys are up to. And Boris, thank you so much. I know that we're also pretty much busy with everything, but it's a pleasure to know what is the community doing, and it's a open round for everyone from the community. If you're up for showing your work, we are doing these meetups every month. We are trying to keep it as a schedule, as a tradition, on a schedule. So just ping us, just let us know if you're interested to show your work. I think it's good to they say if you love something, set it free. So just straight to the others as well. And it's okay to inspire the others. Thank you very much to the Node Institute for lending us their infrastructure. That means yes, Randall, I miss you very much. I think you should say this sentence once yourself very soon. And if there is no anything from the others, we can call it a night and wrap it up. Well, I'll take it as a no. Okay, fantastic. Cool. Thank you very much. I wish you a good evening or a good time wherever you are. And stay tuned. We see each other pretty much soon. And keep up with the good job, with the good work, and have a good patch. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.